Hi everybody, this is what the XR headset looks like. It's a regular hard hat. And the lens comes up and the lens comes down, and you can use AirPods or other speakers. And it's got a battery in the back. It's got a pretty good battery life. And it's effectively a laptop on your head that can project the hologram so that you can see all the different data. Welcome everybody to this example of how to use extended reality technologies for climate sustainability and decarbonization. So today we're going to give you a demonstration of using this extended reality headset, which I'm wearing now, which you can see allows me to have my hands free and manipulate a wider range of data, such as these custom-made holograms representing California and Japan, and how we can use these technologies in our climate and sustainability work. So, one of the things you may be asking, what is California and Japan? So this is a story that we're going to use to tell you today about extended reality and how, these types of tools, and how Green Grid can use these to, and how help you use these tools. And this is all part of Green Grid's participation in the California-Japan Clean Energy Trade Mission in 2023. Where Green Grid was invited to go to Japan with the state leadership of California and meet with all the important California and Japan government leaders and business leaders that are working on climate sustainability and green hydrogen. And here is a picture of our own Chinmoy Saha visiting the hydrogen shipping equipment that is designed to ship hydrogen overseas. And this is something that we're considering, how to produce green hydrogen in California. One of the projects that we have going on right now is Game Changer 1, which produces green hydrogen in California. And that would be potentially something that could be shipped overseas to Japan, where it can be distributed to help Japan meet its clean energy goals using green hydrogen. So that's part of the story we're going to tell, and use this extended reality tools as part of the methodology that we can use to help show you how we can work with these types of digital tools to help us in this endeavor. So let's get started. So first, it's helpful to have the definition of the problem. So here we have this conceptual rendering of what our green gold kit would be. This is our kit of equipment that we are developing that's going to help us do green hydrogen. And so why? What are we trying to do? So our robotic intelligent hydrogen delivery system helps us with supply chain management, managing the variable renewable resources and the highly dynamic demands of our energy network and grid. And so we're going to talk about how hydrogen can be really helpful to balance these loads. And so the problem statement is we want solar and wind fundamentally and our other clean and renewable energy sources to be available 24/7, 365, and we want to be able to choose whether we use it for electricity, for buildings and the grid, or whether we want to use it for fuel and transportation, or even as a chemical for other processes, for process heat, or other chemical processes. So the way that we do that is when we are going to be developing these additional clean and renewable energy resources, we can store those when they have their peak production time, which is solar in the summer, or depending on where you're located, spring and fall for wind, or just depending on where you are. We'll have those peak productions that we're going to use to split water into hydrogen and oxygen, and use some additional energy to liquefy the hydrogen into a liquid hydrogen, which you can see here can go into this liquid hydrogen tank. And these liquid hydrogen tanks have a very large capacity and can store those seasonal peaks and allow us to then balance out the demands for electricity and fuel and chemicals. So this is the concept that we have with our green gold kit, and this is just an example of how we can use extended reality technologies to show these types of data, visualize these types of 3D models with process diagrams and other data. And as you can see, we can load a lot of different data in here. So let's just kind of keep walking through this short example to show you how powerful these extended reality tools can be. So now let's contemplate the case where we have some equipment that's operating, and we're going to do some maintenance on it, and how extended reality can help us do that. So let's go through the case that we're going to be working on a valve. So there's a lot of these valves, different types of valves that are used in this hydrogen equipment. In this case, here's one here. So let's walk through how this type of technology might be useful for this. So let's go through the case where we have some vehicle fueling data. In this case, we can talk about a hydrogen fueling station. This is actually fueling data from filling up a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle according to J2601, which Green Grid Inc. has a lot of experience in helping people get their equipment to follow the correct fueling procedures and all the different details that are required to do that. And so here we see the pressure and temperature changing over time as the vehicle is filling through its initial pulse and leak checks, and then its subsequent leak checks, and following the correct ramp rate to fill the vehicle. And we can see there's some cycling going on here for the temperature during that occurrence. So we can build machine learning models that can help us identify exactly points in the process that will lead us to understand, look, when that happens, that means this valve needs maintenance, and that valve's located right here. So this is a way that we can go through this really complicated equipment data, all the performance data, and if you have new equipment, we can figure it out for new stuff too, and if you have historical data, we can use all that historical data to build some really good predictive models that can say, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Now we know we need to do some work on this valve because this has occurred in our data, and this is physically where it's located. And we might be just the gate's on the other side, so we know we need to walk safely to this location to work on this valve. So it's a really powerful tool. Then we're going to want to look in more of the engineering level documents too. So now we can say, okay, look, this is the exact location in the pipe and instrument diagram or process flow diagram, and our AI-powered analytics will automatically identify which one of these components it is, and then highlight that and show us, okay, here we got the exclamation point, this is the valve we need to work on, and this is where it physically is in the system over here, where we just have a conceptual view showing that that valve would be located near this piece of equipment here. And so that's another way. Now we know which specific component or series of components this might be for the work that we're going to work on, and we know where to go, and so we just focus on the next arrow to go through our example of how to use this extended reality technology. So then you can say, now we're actually into the maintenance, and we say, okay, now I need to really get into the details here. I need to read the equipment data sheet, go through its bill of materials, understand how to take it apart, put it together, and you could go through and have as many steps in the process as you'd like. And of course, for this example, we have this simple hologram of the completed component, but it would be just as easy for us to put in all the exploded parts to understand what's the series to take it apart, what are all the inner working parts, how to service it, how to put it back together. And then what would be really important to do is you'd want to provide some mechanism to show everybody quickly, hey, after you think you've got this valve repaired, what does it look like? So we can include some video here. So here's an example video of this air-operated valve, as you can tell by the airline, showing that when you add air, the valve stem will move. There we go. And then when you remove the air, you can hear it vent down, and you can see the valve stem go back on the top there. And so that's a way to use video to quickly help everyone understand that you've completed the maintenance and done it correctly. And again, my hands are free the whole time, and I'm able to do all the work and access all the information and bring in a video conference call or do whatever else we need to do to understand everything. And so then in this case, we're going to say, hey, great job. You got the check mark, you fixed the valve, and you can bring back the real-time data from the station as new cars are filling, and you can have this amazing trained workforce and have really high uptime so that all your hydrogen fueling stations or production plants or port operations or whatever the case may be are running to their fullest potential. And so that's just a quick example of how extended reality technologies can really be a game changer to help you meet your climate and decarbonization goals.